Hey, love lockdown babes. I'm Amanda Marie, founder and CEO of MrsKisses.com. I've created the first patented frontless, backless, and strapless bra tool. A tool because it is more of a non-surgical breast augmentation than a bra. Not only does it give you the perfect cleavage you deserve, but it also gives proper support while remaining invisible. I'm so excited to share with all you beautiful ladies out there, as well as offer you a special discount using my girl Brit's code. She is a proud owner of both the Deep Plunge and Modest Plunge bra and can vouch that they're life-changing. I can't wait for you to check it out, MrsKisses.com, and get that perfect cleavage you've always desired.
And I've been having a lot of people ask me about my skincare routine. So I wanted to show you guys really quickly my Radiant Skincare Spin Brush by Duval. It's really cool because it comes with 4 different heads, better than just using a regular towel. And this is antibacterial, so you're able to use your brushes, like the heads that come with, for a long time without worrying about them getting like nasty and germy. So you guys will not be upset and your skin won't be either for purchasing this. Right now, I'm so excited to be able to offer to you guys my discount code. It is regularly $95. But you guys can get 70% off with my code BRITBRAT, and it's going to take you down to like $28. You can't go wrong with that.
All right, you guys, we are live. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are listening or watching now from wherever across the world. So, welcome to Love Lockdown, the podcast where my husband and I discuss relationship advice that perfectly works for us. I'm one of your hosts, Brit.
And I'm Chris, aka Captain Arrogant. And as you can see today, we are very, very excited. And your episode today has been brought to you by MrsKisses.com, the instant breast lift bra for you, and Duval, the Radiant Spin Brush. So if you guys haven't seen our sponsors, take some time to look those up and check them out. We got some great discounts just for you, which we'll take care of later in the show. So if you're ready to get started, me and Britt got a lot of free game to drop for you guys today. And as I do every time, during season 2, this is a new season for us. So if you're a longtime listener, this season is filmed live on Facebook and YouTube at Love Lockdown Podcast.
I love that. So this is going to be something that I'm probably going to get killed about before we get started. But if you guys don't notice, I have a drink today, which is something I never have. Usually it's water, but we have a special celebration because, babe, do you know why?
I think it's a national holiday or something, right?
Well, somebody's birthday is tomorrow, so I just wanted to take the time to say happy birthday to you, babe, because he's getting old. We're celebrating a Gemini birthday tomorrow, y'all.
Yo, Geminis are in the building. When we come through, we shut it down.
Y'all don't play around. I've been saying that every meme this whole month. Like, you guys go so hard. Geminis go so extremely hard. I'm a Sagittarius. I thought we did something until I met a Gemini and was like, we do nothing compared to y'all.
Listen, as a Gemini, I will say, we don't do anything unless it's done all the way. So we let everybody have their little birthday as the Tauruses came through and creep walked on through, you know what I'm saying? The other people came through, but now it's Gemini time.
Yeah,
so it's time to show out.
Yeah, you guys don't let us forget. But happy birthday, baby. It's been a pleasure being with you for as long as I have been. I met you when you were, 19?
19.
And now you're about to be 34. You knew me when I was 18, and now you're about to be 34. And it's okay. I can disclose your age because men, y'all don't mind that. But yeah, again, happy birthday, babe. We're going to be celebrating all month long. But we can get into the program today. So
thank you. We listen. The show today is off the chain. Yeah, off the chain, because from the outside looking in, it might seem like, oh, it's nothing and it's a simple answer. But good luck with that. We'll explain to you today why it's not. So go ahead and introduce the topic for them, baby.
Yes, today we are going to be talking about the chase. Should men chase women?
Listen,
that is it.
That is a question for the ages. And the reason it is because mythically throughout time, there's always been a set misogynistic rule where guys should chase the woman. And chase them because if it's something they want, they should really go after it. No matter how long it takes, no matter how much work you got to put in, you just stick to it and stick it out and, chase that woman down. And it's always a huge thing for me when I hear that. I laugh a lot because it's funny. And we'll get into discussing why it's funny to me because everybody feels differently about it. And when you're raised to conditionally think that is the way that you're supposed to go after the opposite sex, whether it's a man or a woman, that's what you do. That's all you know. That's how you go about it, which, on this show, we do not hate. If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not, then so be it. But look, we're going to get into the topic. Before we get into it, guys, I want to check in with all of our people out there. I know y'all checking in with us. Make sure you guys are sharing because this will be a hot topic. And I want everybody's input on this, everybody's feelings. Tell us if we're wrong. Tell us if we're right. Just tell us. So
I love a challenge. I love a challenge, y'all. Tell us if we're wrong because I love that. I love it. Like, conversation is always great. Hello.
Yo. Hey. So I don't know if I'm saying this right, but Tace Rodriguez Gonzalez. Hey, y'all, from YouTube.
Hello. YouTube.
Brittany from
Brittany,
YouTube.
hello.
She's on here every episode.
Yes.
Tace said, my favorite couple. Well, thank you. We love that.
That means a lot. Thank you.
James said season 2. What's up, James? James is in the building.
Hey, bro.
One of our favorite people, my brother. A lot of happy birthdays. I'm just going to zoom through them. I really thank y'all. I appreciate y'all. Carrie said Avon is a Gemini.
Oh, well, I can tell.
Upcoming birthday, Avon. One of my other favorite people. James is representing for Ypsilanti, Michigan. If you do not know, it's in the house. So let's get right on up into it, baby. What's our first topic?
Well, first, before I introduce the first topic, I would just like to say that it's the perfect introduction because it's kind of a continuation to one of our most popular podcasts that we did before we started going live, which was called The Thirst. So I'm not sure if you guys were able to listen to that episode. And it's funny because it's been so long. I don't even remember everything that we discussed, but I do know that was a big one. Everybody's been asking for it back. So the thirst versus chasing is our first topic.
Listen, and this is huge because like Brit said, we released this episode. It's like our third ever episode, maybe second.
So popular.
And people went nuts. This is when we decided that we had to do this full time and we had to put some effort into this show because people responded bananas to just talking about being thirsty these days. So we wanted to actually take time and discuss, before we get into it, the actual difference between being thirsty and chasing. So what's your opinion, babe? What's the difference?
Well, first and foremost, I would just like to say that this, honestly, this is my platform for me to be as transparent as possible. Like, you guys see a different side of me when I'm on YouTube as opposed to when we're here at Love Lockdown. And I'm going to honestly say that today's topic has been the most difficult for me because I have so many different feelings on everything that we're going to discuss that it's really made me think. Like, this is the first topic that we've ever done that I've been like, you know what I mean? Like, back and forth. So when it comes to thirst, because I had to do a lot of research, thirst pretty much is just being desperate. And it's not that you're drinking, it's not that type of thirst. Like, this is when you are just being so extra to the point that someone's like, he's just so thirsty. And then we have the chase, where to me means that you are just legitimately getting what you want without doing too much. So that was the difference that I thought of when I thought of these two topics. But what do you think?
Now, for those of you out there who just now tuning in, first time tuners, we don't discuss these topics with each other before the show.
No,
so there's a lot of the times where we have difference of opinion, and we want it to be as realistic as possible. So to me, the thirst is basically unwanted advances. It's basically you doing a lot and not getting any response. You doing a lot and getting a bad response and still continuing to do. That's thirsty. Or just doing a lot too soon.
Okay.
It can easily blend over into the chase if you're not careful. Your chasing can turn into thirstiness. And I know a lot of thirsty people, and some people are proud of being thirsty. Listen, shoot your shot. If there's an opening, shoot your shot. But listen, do not be Kobe with it. Do not continue to shoot if there isn't a rim.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There has to be open basket in order for you to have the opportunity to make one. And a lot of times people forget that portion of it. And that's what makes people thirsty. If there isn't an opening for you to slide in, then you're sliding into a base that doesn't even exist anyway. So good luck with that. I think that's the main difference. And I think that most of the time it has to be unwanted or things that people aren't aware is going to happen and are unhappy about.
Got you. See, my main issue when it comes to thirst is that I feel like females a lot of the time. I mean, I'm pretty sure males say this too, but I don't hear it as much as you hear women say, like, "Oh, he's so thirsty." You know what I mean? Like, it's just such an instant statement now that it's hard to determine the difference between the two, because I feel like a lot of women miss out on a lot of good men because they're just so quick to be like, "Oh, he was thirsting." Like, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it's just confusing now.
Listen, I totally get what you're saying. And I feel like a lot of women use this as a tool to show other men that they're wanted by other men. So, a girl will post something in her inbox where a guy has written her 10 times without her responding. Now, we don't know if she's ever actually responded. She could have deleted her responses.
Thank you. Right.
But she posts that, and oh my God, y'all so thirsty in my inbox. And it's like, dude,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you're showing us this dude hitting on you nonstop, but in actuality, what's really happening? What's causing this for people to think that it's okay to approach you like this? So, like I said, a lot of girls use it as a crutch these days to show people that they're wanted by the opposite sex, which is insane.
Right. Right. But in a sense, it's thirsting, like on the girls' end too, right? Because I feel like if I'm setting myself up to put publicly out there that someone is inboxing me multiple times throughout the day, that's me opening up for other people to want me. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like they're doing it on purpose for attention.
Yeah, and that's what they call thirst traps. They're setting thirst traps so that other guys can see, hey, I'm wanted by other guys, in case you guys didn't notice. And it's kind of like setting a fishing line out there and hoping that somebody gets snagged on it. And in reality, we don't really care.
Yeah.
Everybody gets inboxes. Everybody. There's somebody for everybody. Believe it or not, the person that you might think is the ugliest person on the planet got inboxes.
Yeah. No, but that's very true, because there is someone for everybody. But yeah, it's just, and again, like you said, you never know like what they're doing in return. Like, you can delete messages so easy these days that it's so difficult to be like, oh, especially when they don't add up. He's like, hi, hello, and then he's responding to something that looks like you responded to, and then there's just a blank, and you just got someone looking crazy for no reason. Like, sometimes I even wonder if these people really are getting messages or if they just are seeking attention, because it's like, would you really risk putting yourself?
Baby, you saying they're sending messages to themselves?
No, honestly, like, I feel like a lot of people out here are crazy these days and just need that attention, because sometimes it's like especially these days, you don't mess with people mentally, so to put someone out there, especially even if you put their name up, like, you're risking them now coming after you, stalking you, talking bad about you.
Is it worth it?
Endangering you. Is it worth it is the question. So, like, you just gotta be careful, because like, people's emotions and feelings are not a game, especially nowadays. Like, people they're not hinged the way they used to be. So
right. And this was an important topic for us to go through, so you can see that we're not just talking about the thirsty people when we're talking about chasing a female. There's a difference, and it's split down the line. Listen, some of y'all thirsty, okay, but the next topic that we have to get into is what's the difference between chasing and finding, so that you guys can know where we're coming from with this topic. And then we'll get in some of the comments. I see we got a lot of the comments going on right now. So we'll get into some of the comments right after talking about chasing versus finding.
Yes.
So go ahead, babe, give your difference. You know, we'll kind of cut this down real quick to move on.
Yeah. So finding to me just simply means it's someone that you want, that you stumbled upon, and you don't have to do too much to get what you want. And then the chase is, once again, you just going that extra mile, maybe even covering up, masking what it is that you really want for that person in order to get them.
I think you hit that one on the head. There's no disagreements here. I feel like when you're chasing somebody, they know that you're chasing. They're okay with you chasing. And finding somebody is just really like, oh, this is a cool person. Hey, found them. You know, and it's, and to me, I feel like it's important to do these parts of the episode because a lot of people disrespect the English language. You know, they kind of combine all words for it to mean the same thing, when in reality, it does not. There's a difference between chasing somebody and being thirsty, and there's a difference between chasing somebody and finding somebody. So we wanted to separate those lines of confusion off the rip so that everybody's comments can be on point and that we're all on the same page. So with that being said, let's get into some of the comments. Okay, we got a lot of them. Let's start with Haley. Haley says thirst equals online dating when you don't get a response. Right on the head. I'm pretty sure that was before we talked about it, but that's right on the head. Regami Dave,
okay,
says, when teens raging hormones, do you guys think teen relationships are worth chasing? Listen, I'm gonna stop right here. I gotta answer this question. I gotta stop right here and answer this question. Look, I feel like it's very important as a teen for you to date. And let me tell you why. As a teen, you get everything, and even preteen ages, when you're doing the whole I got a girlfriend at school, y'all sit next to each other and y'all got lunch boxes and y'all sit next to each other at lunch and hold hands. That's all very, very important because that teaches you down the line how to prepare yourself for future dating and chasing and everything else. So I think it's a very important thing that teens go through this. But are they worth chasing? Hell no.
And I gotta cut in and say, I say that all the time. Like, I respect relationships at that age. Again, like you said, it helps you open up the door to being able to figure yourself out. And when you are ready to get in a serious relationship, just to know how you operate when you are in a relationship before it's too late. But in the same sense, it's very rare that you end up with anyone that you were with in high school. Very rare. I know a lot of people who are married to people they were with in high school, but it's not something that you should rely on. Like, you're in high school, when you're dating, you're probably not going to get married to that person. So just think of it as a practice and not take it too serious. You know what I mean? Because I just know that when I was dating in high school, that if I had thought about it as, obviously I'm not with who I dated in high school. So that's just, to me, that's how it goes. Like, it's just good practice.
Well, let me explain this to you. And it's not meaningless. It really does have to be, you know, a thing that you kind of put effort into. But at the same time, you have to understand that somebody who's been through high school understands that you might not talk to them people from high school ever again. And you might not see them ever again. You know, so it's a time in your life. And the most important part to understand is that you will grow as you get older. So you're not even the person that you're going to be 5 years from now. So chasing a teen relationship over and beyond makes no sense.
Yeah, just the whole can't eat, can't sleep, even being in a domestic violence type of situation. Even when you're older, you shouldn't be doing that anyways. But when you're in high school, like, to be locked up in something like that is absolutely nonsense. You know what I mean? This is nonsense. You should never be in something like that anyways, yet alone at a younger age. So
listen, we might have to make that a whole new episode.
Yeah,
so we're gonna have
that's
to
a
move
really good
on.
one.
The good question, Oregon, Miss Dave. We appreciate you tuning in today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Brittany Overstreet said, I appreciate the chase. I found a good man that is a Gemini. Listen, you found a good man if you found a
They're
Gemini.
all right. They're
And
all
he
right.
is her man. No, he's a great man. And I wasn't thirsty. We just found each other and didn't expect it. Listen, We kind of know what we're talking about. We've been here. We've been together for a long, long time. Y'all probably won't
Yeah.
believe how long we've been together, but also we've been married for almost 5 years.
In August, yep.
No problems, no issues. We can probably count our arguments on one hand.
And
So,
they're always
I
stupid.
listen, I always love and appreciate when people confirm everything that we're saying. Let's tune in here and see what else we got. Oh, Angela's in the building. T, what's going on?
Hello.
Gopher said hi. Gopher's always on here. Hey,
Hi.
Gopher, how you doing?
From YouTube.
Right. I got a couple more happy birthdays. Okay. My other auntie's in the building. Hey, auntie, how are you? Esther. James. Listen, always coming through with the on-point comments. You got to love them, got to appreciate them. James says we talking about practice. Allen Iverson. That's exactly how we feel about high school, preteen, teen relationships, and you chasing them down. It makes no sense.
Yeah.
If you're going to give your all in the game, what you going to practice for?
Exactly. And again, it's no disrespect to people who dated in high school and are still together. Like, I believe that can happen, but it's like what we're saying. If you are just putting so much effort into a high school relationship, like, it's just not that deep. It's practice.
So another comment that we have, guys, and I'm going to try to read this without stumbling. Sean D. Upshaw said, chasing is for the birds because it's subjective. What might be considered chasing in my book could be interpreted as not chasing hard enough in someone else's book. This relationship shit has to be put in a more simplistic form. Listen, the craziest part is you just walked us in to our very next topic.
Yes.
Listen, chasing is subjective because what one man might find thirsty, what one woman might find thirsty, might be sexy to the next woman. But it's all about reading the room, reading the signs, which takes us into the next topic of overlooking red flags.
Yeah.
So chasing, I feel as if this is an important topic because part of chasing literally has a big component to it. While you're chasing and while you're being chased, you could be ignoring red flags right in front of your face. And I don't like to talk for the women. I like to let Brit talk for the women, but I feel like on this portion, the women need to hear this. They need to hear that while you like being chased and getting your nails paid for and getting a dose of roses sent to your house and, getting your hair done from the money that the person who's chasing you is sending you and, just loving the attention that the person is giving you, you might be overlooking red flags.
Absolutely.
And the number one red flag is this. There is a difference between a sugar daddy and somebody you want to be in a relationship with. That's the biggest one. And a lot of people cannot be honest with themselves enough to say, okay, this will be a good sugar daddy because they don't want to see themselves as sugar babies. So they're accepting all these donations and gifts and, dinners and everything else and being treated like the princess of Zamunda. And they don't even like this dude.
Right.
In order to be, to find a relationship that works for you, you have to find yourself and be honest with yourself enough to say, look, that's a red flag. Why does he keep sending me gifts?
But it's not just that. And like I said, I don't like to usually speak for women. I know I am one, but I feel like I don't think like a lot of women. So like this is always a downfall for me. But I do know that a lot of women, females, even myself, I've done this before, but we tend to disclose too quickly. And when I say that, I mean that we overly share. So there are times that we will tell a man something that we just met that we enjoy, and he picks up on, right? It's like a fish, like you're fishing, and he just clings to it, and we don't even realize that he's doing it. So if you're sitting there and you're like, I love flowers, I love long walks on the beach, you know what I mean? I love teddy bears. And then you forget you told this man that, And he just has a way in now because he knows exactly what you like. He knows how to get you. So now what's he doing? He's getting you the flowers. He's taking you on the long walks on the beach, right? He's getting you the teddy bear. And then when he finally baits you, he hooks you in, and all of a sudden he's a complete asshole because he's showed you something that he wasn't even in the first place because you told him too much. Right?
Listen,
we got to stop doing that, ladies. Like, we got to stop doing that.
Say it again, because, and I always talk about this with Brit. People love to create falsified feelings.
Absolutely.
Like, a guy will create 10,000 falsified feelings from what you told them that they like, and then be mad when it doesn't work out. Like, oh, I did this all for a girl, and nice guys finish last. That's the biggest thing I hate. I hate all the nice guys finish last posts. And as a human being, we're all conditioned at some point to believe that there's a such thing as a nice guy and a mean guy or a bad guy. But in reality, it's just that person wasn't for you to begin with. And it just takes you being real with yourself. So stop overlooking the red flags and creating these falsified feelings, getting into a falsified relationship, and then being mad when it does not work out.
Yes. And I'll honestly say that, and I've even told you this before, we didn't talk about this before this because we don't talk about our podcast before the episodes, but I will honestly say that I have been in like maybe 3 real relationships in my life. Never chased me, right? But one that I did get into was a chase, and he was the one that ended up being the biggest fucking prick that I ever dated in my entire life.
Listen.
Like, let that settle for a second. No, none of my real relationships that
and I'm gonna take a
actually
drink
were
to that
good.
one.
Yeah, right?
Because look, you just said a mouthful to the point where people don't understand that the people who are chasing them become assholes in the end because and the great songwriter said something that you cannot skip over. Lil Jon said, "Don't start no shit, won't be no shit." And you know why I love that? It's because do not start something that you cannot continue forever.
Don't do it.
So if you're this dude who's chasing this girl and you taking her out on 2 dates a week and getting her nails and her hair done, when y'all get together, and I'm gonna speak from a guy's point of view, the guy now feels like we're on equal footing. What do I get?
Right.
Now the whole time you done chase this woman, you like, oh, you know, I'm gonna do this for you. I'm gonna pay your bills. I'm gonna look out for you. They're the perfect human being during the chase. But when you get in a relationship, I believe that they lose appreciation for the person that they're with because they feel like they did all their work ahead of time.
That's very true. That's very true. It also depends too on the situation, on how they begin the chase, because I can honestly say that when I was being chased by that person, that I was honestly at one of the most vulnerable states of my life. Like, I had just gone through hell, like one of the worst things that you could even imagine. So he just so happened to get me at a good position where I just wasn't in the right state of mind, but it worked. So also, I just feel like, if, like, this is for the fellas and for the ladies out there, you can be an asshole all you want, but just don't take advantage of someone when they're going through something. I think that makes you beyond despicable. You know what I mean? Like, that's just beyond any fixing, anything else that you can do. Like, I don't even know how to explain it other than, like, there's a special place for people like that. That's all.
And I'm gonna keep it all the way real here, and I'm not gonna respond because image, right?
Image, right? Image, right?
Image, right?
On all day.
Listen, I think we need to stop and go through the comments. We said a mouthful, and I think people, you know, need to give their opinion on what they feel about what we're saying. You might not agree with us. You know what I'm saying? You might not like what we're saying this week. That's fine with us. That's fine with us. Just tune in because we might say something like next week.
Yeah, but relationship advice that perfectly works for us. That's our key word anyways, our key words.
Right. So we'll start with Haley. Haley says, isn't chasing the opposite sex like a dog chasing his tail? Listen, Haley, I totally agree. And I'm gonna tell you something my granddad taught me. And this is, you know, this is the middle of our show. This is perfect. It's 7:30 on the dot. It's turn up time. And I'm gonna give you a little info that my granddad taught me you know, and people don't know this, but I always talk about the National Players Association. People don't know that I'm a legacy.
Yeah, they don't.
So
Are you
they
sure?
don't know that I'm a legacy. I was supposed to be in the NPA from the beginning. So my
I
granddad
messed it
told me
up,
one
guys.
day, and one day we were riding in his van, and I was talking to a girl on the phone, and I'm all into the conversation, and he trying to tell me something. We about to do some work. So I get off the phone, and he like, man, you always talking to some girls, da 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 da. He like, that's what's wrong with y'all young kids. You know, y'all see the cast in the field, and y'all want to go down there and say, let's run and fuck one. He like, us old dudes, we like, shoot, let's walk down there and fuck them all. At the end of the day, it's not about chasing, it's about being worthy
And taking your time.
chased.
Right.
Because if you can run down there and fuck one of them, by the time you walk down there and use your brain, you might can get them all.
Yeah. Well, and they'll have time to look at you from a distance while you're walking. You know what I mean?
Listen, we all know how it is when you go to the club for your first couple times, how it feels to take that walk when you first get in there and it's all slow motion, the music playing perfectly. That's life.
Yeah.
Every time you wake up in the morning, it should feel like that. But to get into the next ones,
Beyonce has the fan. Beyonce feels like that every day. Like, can I get like that?
Listen, I wish I had a Beyonce fan blowing on my beard because I don't really have no hair up top. But blowing on my beard, it might be on point.
I can't stand you. Oh my gosh.
Sean said, don't overlook red flags. They just drop them bitches in the washing machine and color them a different color to fit their narrative.
Yeah,
Listen,
I
totally
completely agree with that. Yeah, I always say though that you can only act for so long.
Listen,
Period.
you can only keep up the charade until you're tired.
Yeah.
Period. So Angela said they definitely telling too much. That's when you were talking about, you know, women disclosing too much. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, we do that. Yeah.
I feel like with any person, no, not just women.
Mm-hmm.
If you sit and listen long enough, you'll figure out what you want to know.
That's true. That's very true.
Yep. And James says Steve Urkel's probably back to chasing Laura Winslow, and he should have moved on.
That's a perfect example.
I would say that's a perfect example. But Steve found a way to not only date Laura, but to date Myra at the same time. So I don't know. You know,
I don't know.
It worked out for Steve in the end.
But does it really for guys like that in real life? You know what I mean? That was a TV show, and I feel like it was a bad example. And the older I get, the more I watch that show, I'm like, damn, she was an asshole.
She was a hoe. But
and
we'll
she
move
was
on.
hot. Yeah, she was hot.
In the pants.
She was hot in the pants. She was a hoochie
she
hoe.
dated any and everything. She took Steve's cousin out on a date low key when OG Steve came. Listen, we can make a whole Winslow episode, Family Matters episode.
Yeah.
Angela said, not the fucking prick. Hilarious.
I had to go hard on that one. Hopefully he's watching.
Guess who's in the broadcast with us, guys? Mom is in the building. Mom said yes, he was. So at least y'all know Brittany not lying.
But it was a good learning experience. Let me just stop and say that, because although it was bad, it was the first terrible relationship I had ever been in, but it was before you. So it actually lucked out. You know, things happen for a reason, because it made me appreciate you even more when we finally were ready to get together. So, I mean, you can take it as is, you know. That's for a different day, though. I could go into that one.
Listen, I almost gave you the full screen because I know you about to slip into one.
No, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
If you feel like you want to slip into a whole session, let me know. I'll give you full screen. I'll get out the way.
I'm good today because he's not worth the time. So we don't waste our time on stuff. But yeah.
Origamist Dave said, as a couple, how do you communicate to ensure there aren't any mishaps that lead toward arguments? This and I'm gonna keep this as simple as possible because we got to move on. This topic is hot. We basically make time for communication.
Yeah.
You know, and that just comes in spending time. If you're comfortable with the person you're with, you're naturally going to talk to them about everything. The whole myth about somebody being your best friend with you when you're with them is absolutely correct.
Yeah, but which is very true, but also like I feel like a lot of people get arguments confused with being shamed, I guess, because I feel like a lot of people are so proud to be like, we've never fought. You know what I mean? Like, we're perfect. We've never fought before. We've never had a disagreement. I don't agree with that either. Like, you and I have disagreements all the time, which is fine. But when we do, we are respectful. That's the difference. It's okay to fight and argue, because if you're not doing that, something's wrong. Because that means that someone's holding something in. And when you finally get it out, all hell is going to break loose. So you have to fight. You have to argue every now and then to get out what you need to get out. It's just that if you're doing it, it depends on what manner you're doing it in, right? Because you and I always respect each other. When we have any type of disagreement, we hear each other out.
And that's spectacular
That's
that she said that, because in communication you start to learn people's triggers. So I try not to trigger her, because one thing you learn with being with somebody and being married after a minute is it really ain't nothing you can win. And if you know me, I'm all about winning. If I can't win it, I'm not participating.
The same for me. We're both so competitive.
Yeah, we're competitive. So when you learn that there's no winning the argument, when you learn there's no winning the fight, why are you participating?
Yeah, especially when it's with your significant other, because at the point of even a relationship, but especially when you're married, you guys literally are one. So if someone walks out thinking that they won, then you guys both completely messed up, because that means that both of you lost if someone thinks they walked away winning, because you are the same person at that point.
And one thing that we worked on from the beginning is focusing on a solution versus focusing on a problem. Like, we don't try to focus on what the problem is. We try to figure out the problem and then get to a solution. Fighting about the problems serves nobody no purpose. It's just going to keep making both people angry.
This is
more angry to the point. Yeah, and then if you don't solve it right then, that's what we do to avoid arguments and fights and things like that. Like I said, we can count them on one hand. We can even go back to them in our mind and say, look, this is what happened. Hey, baby, you remember when we did this? Man, I look stupid.
Then we laugh. Right.
Yeah,
we always feel stupid afterwards. But we all, honestly, though, I will say the most important thing is never to go to sleep or leave the house mad at each other. It's not worth it.
Life is too short.
It's way too short, y'all. So don't do that. Like, it's not worth it.
James Parks is in the building. He said, this fool quoted Little John. Yes, I did. Don't start no S, won't be no S.
Little John was spitting.
Listen, boy be spitting. You can take a lot of Little John quotes and put them on the wall. Angela said, very true statement. Creative dream set. Some girls do that. They will lead you on, and then in a late minute, she will mess you up. Listen, chase somebody if you want to. That's the only one that I can give you. It's a wild ride.
Yeah. But that's men too.
Listen, and that's why dating as a preteen is important and dating as a teen is important, because you start to learn that, dude, I'll say hi to you. I'll tell you how I feel about you. It'll be up to you to take it from there.
Gotta learn those lessons, though.
Angela chimed in and said, player legacy. You better listen, Auntie, you better tell him my granddaddy had a Jerry curl. Melissa chimed in. She said, some people like the crazy drama that can come from the chase. Melissa, high five, virtually, social distancing. You just hit that on the head.
That's my maid of honor, y'all. That's my maid of honor. You can tell why we're friends, right?
Listen, slapped it on the head, because I feel like, listen, and this goes back to the whole nice guys finish last thing. The reason that nice guys finish last is they have too much time to be nice. Girls, sometimes I see them on Facebook all the time, and I see these guys, because the guys are emotional these days, and they're on Facebook talking about how y'all all like the same dudes. It's always the dudes who's flashing money and got cars and da 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 da. Y'all like the same dudes that's banging all the chicks. Well, listen, because I'm on pension from the NPA, I will tell you the reason why. The reason why is not because they have cars and money. It's not because they look a certain way. The reason why is because they have business to attend to other than chasing some chick down.
Right. But you want to know something to add on to that I literally just thought about? I know this though, right? A lot of people like to say that women tend to be attracted to the bad guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If you ever thought about it, because I just thought about it now, women are conditioned and brought up at a very young age to believe that when a man or a boy is being mean to you, that means he likes you, right? Oh, he pushed you, honey. He must like you, right? So really, if you guys think about it, to people it's cute when you're younger, but it's not cute when you're older because we learn that at an early age. I personally have never been told that. Thank the Lord, because my mom had sense, still does.
Buckle
I'm
up.
so thankful. But like honestly, women, men, we have to stop teaching our young daughters or even our boys these days. We have to stop teaching them that if someone is being mean to you, that means that they like you, because they're going to eventually grow up, and guess what they're going to seek out when they're looking for a relationship? A complete asshole. That's what they're going to look for, because they're going to think that that's love. And that's it for me. Like, that's just,
man.
have you
Listen,
ever thought
she
about it
being
like
nice.
that?
She being nice. I've seen her go on tangents about that.
There's just not enough time. Right.
Hours. She's being nice. So
Yeah.
we'll move on to the next comment. Thank you, Melissa. We appreciate that insight.
Mm-hmm.
People love the drama.
People love it.
So DJ Motherfucker, for those of y'all who don't know DJ Motherfucker, he does our after parties for the day we have the guests. Make sure you go like his page on Facebook. Make sure you go like his Periscope. Make sure you go like him on Instagram. That's our DJ. So DJ says, when you chase someone, you should do some research to make sure the person is worth the chase.
Absolutely.
Listen, I don't care how much research you do. And I'm gonna keep it funky. You can go to every library in the state. You can go to the National Library. Ain't nobody worth chasing, because at the end of the day, the chase basically makes you worthless to them. Mm-hmm. And just as you know, this is psychoanalytics, and I love psychology. But if you're conditioned in a certain way to start, you will always think. And I'll use me and Brit as an example. There's a gas station that's about 1.5 miles away from us. Now, in 1.5 miles range, we probably got 6 or 7 gas stations. And I rarely go to the gas station, but when I go, the first 3 times I would get her this juice, this ever fresh juice that she loved. Mm-hmm. And the only time you can get it is there, because they're the only people who have that flavor. So I would get her that every time. And the 4th time I took her, she was like, dude, where's my juice? Yeah. And that's me conditioning her to think that every time we pull up at this BP, she about to get a juice. I didn't even go in. Drink. I swiped the credit card at the pump.
Where was my juice? You know,
like, what are you talking about? Where's your juice? She like, where's my juice? I'm like, dude, what thirsty. Juice? Yeah. And I thought about it, and I've conditioned her to think that when we go to this gas station, she about to get a juice. So it's the same thing with chasing. If you condition somebody that you're always going to chase them from the beginning, they will expect to be chased even when you're married. Yeah, always. And always. When it comes to research, we're just so fortunate now because we do have social media to look more in depth into somebody. But also we have to remember to separate that too, because people share what they choose to share, right? No one's going to post their terrible day or them without like their nails not done, or you know what I mean? Like, people choose what they want you to see. So don't rely on that either when it comes to your research. Unless it's just someone who's super open, which I've never met anyone that puts their bad days on Facebook unless they just like that drama. Some people do that. But let me take that back. People do that all the time. What am I saying? So we gotta get through these comments because we still got a couple more topics we gotta hit. Esther said she was chased and it was fun. Mm-hmm. Ronnie said they look better going than coming.
Hey, cuz.
What's up, Ronnie? Melissa says you don't have to like each other all the time in a relationship.
No.
You do have to love each other in order for it to work. That's the truth.
I've got that from Sex and the City movie.
Put that on the t-shirt, underdog.
Yep.
Sean said, blame these emotional ass men on Drake. Listen, the Drake culture has created a fantasy that it's okay to be emotional as a man, overly emotional, because it's okay to be emotional.
I was just about to say that. Yes, it is.
But
Yes.
we're gonna do a whole episode on that. We already got it scheduled out. I'm not gonna ruin it, but just to say this: the person that's the most emotional in the relationship should not be the person that should make the decisions. Point blank, period. And I'll leave it at that.
I feel like I should leave a sound effect for that. Would you just say, ooh?
Listen, you need that's where you need the sexual chocolate. You need that to drop right there. Esther said, nice guys are wussies. I don't even know how to respond to that because image, right? You got to have a bad guy, a thug. Oh, listen. Kendra said, a thug / gentleman, you got to have the balance. Kendra, I'm pretty sure you got somebody from the east side of Detroit, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm with you on that.
You right on point with that. Kendra said, high five, Brit. And Melissa said, as parents, you can condition your child for their expectation in a relationship. I was going to talk about that because a lot of people have been raised by their mothers. And I'm gonna try not to get too un-PC with this, but a lot of people have been raised by their mothers, which caused them to think that they're supposed to approach women in a certain way. Yeah, they believe that the only way to get a woman is to chase a woman, and these are the guys that I'm talking about are the good morning text guys. The people who text you good morning when you wake up. Like, what are you looking for in response to that?
Yeah, good morning back to you.
Right, like if she's not waking up thinking that, oh, he's been thinking about me all night. Fool.
No,
business and minded. Point blank, period. Y'all been conditioned by your parents to believe as if you're supposed to put what did they say in what was that movie? They said put the pussy on a pedestal.
Pussy on a pedestal? That was 40-year-old virgin, yes, because he absolutely did that.
Listen, if you put the pussy on a pedestal, it'll never come off for you. So good luck.
Yeah, you just can't do it, but you can't do that with anybody. You know what I mean? Like, you should never put anyone above like anything that you agree or love. You guys should just be equals. Everybody should always just be like here. I'm short. I'm only 5'2", so I gotta go up a little bit to be here with you. But you know what I mean?
Oh,
definitely.
You see what I'm saying? DJ Motherfucker said, remember, I'm a product of 8 Ball and MJG. My chase is 2 steps. And that's another thing we have not talked about.
Right.
And because it's subjective, as Sean said earlier, it's a subjective thing. So what you call a chase might not be a chase to other people. So when I'm speaking specifically of chasing somebody, I mean personally going out of my way.
Yeah.
Chase you down and hunt you, which takes us into the next topic. Actually, we appreciate you, DJ. How long did chase last? And I'll let you go first, Brit.
Man, this is hard for me to respond to because I don't believe in chasing. Now, when I say this, I just mean that I've just always gotten what I want in life. But see, that's where the confusion comes also, because I was taught that if I want something in life, that you get it. You know what I mean? I've never necessarily been chased, and I've never chased, but I have been the one that, like, I got you. You know what I mean? I got you. You didn't chase me, but I wanted you. I got you. That's it.
And for those of you who do not know the backstory,
he loves telling the story. That's why I went
the
into
day
it.
I got my pension and I got approved for it from the NPA, Brit hit on me.
I did, because I get what I want. You see what I'm saying? And everybody should get what they want. So, I mean, I just feel like, to a degree, though, like you shouldn't be a creepy stalker. So, to me, I feel like you should only be chasing at the most, depending on when you met them, maybe like 2 weeks. But let it go. Because if they're not there for you, if they're not wanting you and you're doing all the most, then like there's a billion people in this world. It's just not that deep. It's not that deep.
At all. Reciprocation is one of the most important things in a relationship, while dating, while courting. I don't even know if courting is still alive, but in that process, everything has to be reciprocated. And by that I mean, if I'm not getting a response from you,
Mm-hmm.
I feel as if you don't deserve for me to write another text until you respond to it. Because listen, if somebody's interested in you, they're not going to forget that you text.
No.
They're not going to forget that you wrote them. They're not going to forget that you called them. They're going to be excited to call you back. So therefore, a chase should never start. But if it does,
Mm-hmm.
and you feel like, oh, you found this girl that's perfect for you, maybe a week, maybe 2 days.
Yeah.
That's still
Just
pushing it
shouldn't
for
be too
me. I
long.
think that's just it's just too much.
Yeah.
It's just too much. Even when me and Brit got together, there was no chasing involved. It was like, look, dude, I want this. I was like, cool. I've been wanting to say that to you, but
Yeah.
let's get it popping. You know what I'm saying? And from there on,
And
it was reciprocated both ways.
yeah, and I actually had more respect for that because again, I felt like we always knew we liked each other. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't a question. And again, like instead of you having to chase, like it's just unspoken. So it's just determined when the person is ready. I respect you so much because you knew what I was going through and you took that time. You know what I mean? You let me approach you. So at the end of the day, again, like there's just too many people out here in the world for you to be just doing the most and letting one person just destroy you. Like it doesn't make sense. I
What's the
just don't
longest
agree with
you've
it.
been chased for, though? We got to talk about that because listen, I always tell people that, I was a part of the NPA, but people
Yeah.
do not have a clue
Uh-huh.
that you was on the board of directors. They don't have a clue that your past wasn't, you know what I'm saying, all dandelions and roses.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
How long have you been chased just for the fun of it to where you were just like, dude, cool, whatever.
yeah.
How
No,
long has a dude chased you?
I
The
will say
longest.
that honestly. To be honest, I had someone that chased me for like almost a year.
Straight?
Yeah, straight. I'm talking buying flowers, having random people come to my house to drop stuff off. Just super awkward, weird. And obviously, I didn't ever get with that person. So again, it just shows that sometimes when you do too much, like that just doesn't work out for your kid.
Well, like, how often was the gift buying, though? I need to know.
Oh, at least once a week.
So he
At
was sending
least
a
once a week.
gift once a week for a year.
Yeah, but again, stuff that I didn't even like or ask for. So that was even more of a turnoff for me because it was like he doesn't even know me. He's chasing me, but he doesn't even know me because again, I'm disclosing too much right now, but it's okay because I'm married, so no one has a chance with me right now, anyways. But like I said multiple times that on here, I don't like flowers. Many men know this because I've said it on here, So I'm disclosing that information. Congratulations, I just did what I told everyone not to do. But back then, when he was buying them for me, it's like, dog, like I don't like this. I never told you that I didn't like it, so clearly that means you don't know me at all. So like, it just didn't work out too well for him.
Did you at least take the dude on a date?
Never.
Sap
No,
sucker.
we were all mutual friends, so we hung out, but never alone. No,
Did you
never
hang out
alone.
purposely with him? Like, I'm going here, meet me here? Or
No,
did he just show up?
no, no, no. Again, we were all mutual friends, so he
No,
was
no, 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 no,
always
no, 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 no,
there.
no, 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 no. Now, you know I know you. You are not about to go into the PC answer. What did you ever say? Look, dude, we going here, or me and a
Well,
bunch of friends are going out.
because there were times, listen, you got me almost calling people out, but yes, there were times that when Twitter was very big, that I would tweet that I was about to go somewhere, and he just so happened to be at that location.
That's stalkery.
It was stalkerish. I'm trying to be nice, but yes, it was very stalkerish. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's a little weird when you say that you're going somewhere and they end up showing up when they weren't
Gotcha,
invited. You see what I'm saying?
gotcha.
So yeah, it was a very weird, awkward chase. It made me uncomfortable, and at the end of the day, we never went on a date, nor did we end up together. So make that an example of what you shouldn't do with a woman. This is weird. This is
Yeah,
weird.
yeah. That's very odd. We'll move on. I'm very sad I asked that question. Uh,
You're not though. Happy
I am.
birthday.
I am. I really am. It turned really bad really quickly. I thought that it was going to end on like, I ain't even do that and I ain't even do. Man, that's sad. Stop
Yeah,
showing
no,
up where people are at, weirdo.
you have to. And it's so crazy because before you met me, I know I used to tell you stories, and I know you used to think that I was just making stuff up. But now that you know me, you see how quickly people, and that's another thing too. Like when a female is nice to a man, sometimes, not all men, but men tend to hear something else that you didn't even say. You could smile and say hi to a man, and he's like, she wants me. Yeah. And it's like, dog, I said hi. I said hello to you.
Well, listen, you just described every man trying to talk to a woman ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know how, and I'm gonna speak up for the men here. I ain't gonna let y'all go out like that. But a man will be like, "Look, baby, I'm going to the store." And when you get back from the store, she'll be like, "You said you was going to fuck hoes." You be like, "What? When did I say that? You said you was going to the store, and who be at the store?" You know what I'm saying? Women hear what they want to.
Yes, yes.
Just like men do. So do not do that to us. And I'm gonna stand up for my fellas on this one.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
we already throwing them under the bus with chasing. And I know a lot of nice guys who not gonna be happy with this. But you
But
need to know this.
the crazy thing is, I feel like women see the reason we're so messed up is that I feel like that we tend to act like that after the fact. Like when we're actually in the relationship is when women tend to start getting crazy, and it's like, dog, you're already there with them now. What are you acting crazy for now? You know what I mean? Like this should have been before you guys got together, but now you're married and you talk about them fucking hoes when you go to the gas station. You weren't worried about that before. You guys are good now, so.
Well, first of all, women are born crazy. But I will say this: women are better at hiding their craziness than men. Men tend to take their craziness and put it into another aspect of their lives. Women will just act like it doesn't exist at all until you're with them. And then it's Crazyville, USA. You be like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Like, what? When that happened? When did I say that? You know what I'm saying? Point blank.
I kind of agree with you. I feel like I'm crazy, and my crazy has always been there, though. Like, I don't feel like I masked my crazy.
Well, no, and the thing about both of us is that we're both very proud of our crazy and very realistic about how crazy we are. So it actually sets limits in our relationship to where we like, look, we're not even going there. We're not even going there.
I'm a Sagittarius. You're a Gemini. Like, who was about to sit there? That's like saying like when people are surprised Michael Jordan was an asshole, it's like, why? Why were you shocked about that? This man is a winner. He is a GOAT. You can't be a winner and not have somewhat like a gene of asshole in you. Like, it just doesn't work that way. You have to get through life.
Because there's only one first place, to be honest.
Right. And if you're not first, you're last.
Right. And then second place is the first place loser. At the end of the day, if you want to be first, there has to be some type of asshole somewhere in you. Now, a lot of y'all carry a gene that's way too much asshole. That's another discussion for another day. But a lot of y'all think that being an asshole makes you a winner. Not true. Whole other discussion.
That's a totally different discussion. So
we gotta wrap this episode up. So I'm gonna go through the comments after we talk about this last part. Guys, please leave us in the comments what you want to talk about. But I think that we need to discuss, why do you want to be chased as a woman? Please leave us your answers. We'll get back to this after we talk about the next one. But please leave us your answers to this question. Why do women want to be chased? And Brit, you need to stand up for the women on this part. I don't know why a woman would want to be chased, but that's up to you to try to tell your portion, and everybody else will chime in with theirs. So let's talk about the proper way for a man to get a woman.
I think women like to be chased because we just like to feel wanted. Again, we're conditioned to have like a fairy tale life. So we're taught that if a man is getting you things, or if he's just going above and beyond to get you, that means he really wants you. So I just feel like we're more visual people too. Like, we like to show off. Sometimes I feel like people don't even want to be chased personally for themselves. I think it's more for how it looks outwardly. So to be able to post on Facebook, oh, my man sent me flowers today. You know what I mean? Or he sent me an edible arrangement today. I think it's more for what other people think than for themselves, to be honest. I think that's why we like to be chased.
From a man's perspective, women like to be chased because it gives them a sort of value. Women tend to feel valued more the more work you put in. And I need to put that in air quotes because putting in work can be described of however you feel. But women feel like in order to be with them, you need to put in a certain amount of work. And when they're being chased, they feel as if, okay, he's putting in the work now. Let's see where this goes. So before you even get a chance, you need to prove yourself worthy as a man to even get that chance, to have a chance to be with the girl. Insane theory. I don't know why women want to be chased, but we'll chime into these comments and see what people are saying. I have no clue.
But you know what? You know what I just thought of? Now that you say that, like, I have to add on, I think that a lot of women get being chased and learning about that person confused. Now that you say that, because I think that when someone is being chased, they think that they're getting to know that person too. When in actuality, they possibly might not be, because just because he's doing all that stuff for you doesn't mean that he's the greatest guy in the world. But I think that might be another thing that we might have to get into a little bit later on in life.
You can't ask a monkey to put on a show and then be surprised when the show happens.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's just a show. Monkeys don't do the show all day long. And that's the same with guys. Guys not about to sit up here and put on a show every day for you like they do when they're chasing you. Impossible. Not going to happen. Good luck. Never seen it.
It's not even humanly possible to do that. You don't even have enough time in the day. So
right. And a question that women need to ask themselves is, how much are you going to respect a guy that's willing to break his back for you when he really don't even know you?
That's true. I'm going to say not too much respect.
Right.
I'm going to say that. Not too much at all.
And Melissa said something that was perfect. Again, trifecta Melissa today. Melissa said, if you spend too much time chasing the wrong person, you could be missing the right person for you. That is perfect. And we were going to end the episode with that, but
we have
Melissa,
to.
You don't have
perfect.
To.
That's perfect way to end
it. James said he needs to know about how long you've been chased. That's what they were talking about. And DJ said, if he watching this, I know he feeling like crap.
As both of them should. Everybody I discussed today should, honestly. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Hey, this is my platform to be as out there and realistic as possible, right? I'm usually so PC, but damn it, sometimes I gotta get things
out. Esther has a really good question for us. She says, are your standards too low if you're chasing someone? I'll let you go ahead first with the answer unless you want me to go first.
I'm gonna let you go first on that one.
I believe your standards are too low and your confidence is too low. Because like I said, if you have to yourself to get a chance, to have a chance to be with a woman, you don't have a chance.
Right.
And I know that's a lot, but you really don't have a chance from start if a woman feels as if you need to prove yourself in order to have a chance with her. Your standards are too low on who you are. You need to have some confidence and some balls, put some pants on and stand up as a man and realize that you're not going to win every battle. You're not going to make every shot. But remembering that you're not going to make every shot doesn't mean that there aren't a lot of gems and rims out here for you to shoot in.
Exactly. So it's not that you're giving up. It's just that you are giving up with that person, which is straight. You know, because I think a lot of people also will say, like, if you accidentally, like, if you fail at something in life, then that means you should just quit. And that's not what we're saying at all. It's just that you can keep trying at something, but eventually you got to get old enough to realize that, damn, maybe I'm just not good at this. Like everybody is not perfect. You know what I mean? I'm great at speaking. I'm great at filming and everything else. But like, I'm not about to sit there and say I'm the world's best nail technician because I paint my nails every now and then. Like that's the one thing I'm not good at. So you can work towards the craft, but you also can't spend all your time trying to be perfect or the best at it because in the long run you're missing out on something that you could possibly really be good at and you're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? And that's the same with a relationship. Like I feel like you should get whatever you want in life, but just the timing. If you're doing it for too long, like you just gotta let it go. You gotta let it go.
And before we leave this topic and get ready to wrap the show up, I feel as if people don't realize that they have to understand one major factor in this whole thing. Your standards are not only too low when you're chasing somebody, but you may not also be good at picking the right person for you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a too soon person that always think that this person is the person for me. This is my soulmate. This is who God put on earth for me. This is this person.
Him.
I cannot stand somebody who's in love every day. Impossible, number
That's
one.
not even
But
possible.
also, you are a bad judge of character, and you need to stop putting labels on people because you need to stop saying that this is the person for me, because at the end of the day, you won't know that until it's over with. You will not know this until it's too late. Like, it's impossible for you to be a good judge of character if you've already lost 3 soulmates.
Yeah. It's not odd to me. Listen,
Period.
I feel
It
like
is.
again that's a whole another episode. I feel that we really need to hit because I hear that a lot. People being in love every month, and it's like we got to talk about what love is. So that's definitely an episode that's got to come up soon
Man,
because
listen,
people throw that word around way too often.
way too often, and,
Yeah.
and it's very sad that people don't understand how to take a break for themselves, and it has to be. I'm a grown man, and I took years off from dating. Like, yo, I need to slow down. You know what I'm saying? And most of it was self-inflicted. Like, you know what I'm saying? Dating 2 girls at once. I'm tired. I gotta take a year off. I'm tired.
Exhausting.
This is exhausting. It's like living 2 different lives. But I feel as if people don't take enough time for themselves to get to know themselves in order to prepare yourself for the person you're supposed to be with.
Exactly.
And you might supposed to be with somebody, but if you haven't took the proper time to prepare yourself to be with them, it's not going to work out.
No, because you don't know yourself.
You don't know yourself. You don't know what you want, what you need, how you need it, when you need it. Point blank, period.
Point blank, period.
So this has been a great episode.
Beautiful.
We didn't even get a chance to stop and shout out our sponsors. We need to give them one more shout out. Mrs. Kisses. What's your discount code on Mrs. Kisses for all of our Love Lockdown people out there?
Mrs. Kisses discount code is Brit with now an exclamation mark. We changed it up a little bit. So
and how much do they get off of the Mrs. Kisses instant breast lift bra?
15% off to make these things look beautiful. Ladies, you've seen me advertise for it many, many times. It will take it down from like a $98 bra to $75. So you can't beat that discount, especially being that the summer is coming. And if we can ever get outside, when you get to that club or a wedding or a prom or anything else, you'll definitely want that bra, ladies. So 15% off, Mrs. Kisses. Thank you. We love you. And then Duval, thank you for sponsoring us. The spin brush. People are always asking how I got my skin looking so tight.
I got one. I love it.
That discount is 70% off. That's usually $95 and you get it for $28 for a spin brush. So yeah, Duval, you guys looked out as well. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys check them both out.
Listen, this has been a wonderful episode. The chase. Should women chase men? If you have any more questions, we'll always put up documents on Facebook regarding this situation. If you want to contact us, it's lovelockdownpodcast@gmail.com. We have a YouTube channel. We have an Instagram. We have a Facebook page. We are everywhere. We thank everybody for tuning in. We
Yes.
appreciate all the love and support. And thank you for all the happy birthdays today.
Yes, baby. Happy birthday once again. Tomorrow, I can't
Listen,
wait to celebrate with you. It's going to be a
watch how
good time,
cold
even though we can't go nowhere.
watch how cold I am. All y'all stay home for my birthday.
You mean you don't want one of those honking past birthday parties?
Listen, all y'all stay home for my birthday. Now watch everybody listen.
You guys, once again, also make sure you check us out on Apple Podcasts. Go give us a 5-star rating because it helps us out a lot and it gets us sponsors and everything else. Help us get our bills paid. So
Don't be a hater and give us less than
don't be a
5
hater.
stars.
Don't do
We
that.
got one person out of like 80 people who gave us like a 4-star.
I
Don't
know,
be that
like,
guy.
dog, reflect on yourself. Like, how do you feel seeing all these positive comments and you're the one that gives the one bad one? Like, clearly there's something wrong with you.
Right. I'm gonna have to consider them a hater.
Yeah, they're haters. But we
Right.
love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in. We will be back next week with another wonderful podcast, and we have a special guest. So next week is going to be pretty daggone amazing. We love you. Mwah. Bye, guys.